So there's been a lot of talk about Joe Biden's cognitive decline. And you know what? I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I've seen quite a bit of evidence on that front. A lot of gaffes, a lot of very elderly, seniory moments. And, it's not just a thing where it's right versus left, Republican versus Democrat. Any independent, any moderate, any normie or apolitical person, they are, without a doubt, going to notice that, and that may impact their voting decision moving forward. I mean, on the one hand, you have Trump with 91 criminal charges. That's serious. He was just convicted of fraud in a civil case. That's serious. But it is also human nature to see a guy who can barely walk and falls all over the place and clearly needs a whole bunch of Adderall in order to get through the day and go, I don't know, maybe that guy shouldn't be our leader. But having said all that, while it is fair to talk about Biden's cognitive decline, I don't think there's nearly as much conversation about Trump's cognitive decline, and I think there's quite a bit of evidence that it's going on. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of recent moments that happened, which are kind of eyebrow-raising, and we needed to go ahead and take a look at them. So let's start with this one. This happened about a week ago, and this is a golden oldie from Trump, to be honest. He said this multiple times.
Shouldn't be voter ID. Now you have voter ID to buy a loaf of bread. You have ID to buy a loaf of bread. You have everything. You have pictures.
Now, I don't need to tell you guys, of course you don't need ID to buy a loaf of bread. That's not a thing. But he's now said this like 3 or 4 times. This is recent, but he's also said it a bunch of times during his presidency. Has nobody said to him, sir, that's not how this works? And does he not know how buying groceries works? Okay, but we're just getting started. We're just getting warmed up. We got this one for you too, recent.
Iowa, we go to New Hampshire, we come down here. You know, the beauty was when I came here, everyone thought Bush was going to win. And then they took a poll and they found out Trump was up by about 50 points. Everyone said, what's going on right here? They thought Bush, because Bush supposedly was a military person. Great. You know what he was a military? He got us into the Middle East. How did that work out, right? But they all thought that Bush might win. Jeb. Remember Jeb? He used the word Jeb. He didn't use the word Bush. I said, you mean he's ashamed of the last name? And then they immediately started using the name Bush. Never forget it.
So he confused George W. Bush and Jeb Bush. Now, when I first heard about this story, I thought, it could have just been a slip-up or whatever. But he expounds on it quite a bit. So that's like, well, hold on, man. Really? At no point did you stop and try to correct yourself? Like, he keeps going as if Jeb Bush got us into the war in Iraq. Okay, weird, but I got more evidence for you.
But you have a better chance of being struck by lightning than hitting a whale with your boat. There has only been, listen to this, one such whale killed off the coast of South Carolina in the last 50 years. But on the other hand, their windmills are causing whales to die in numbers never seen before. Nobody does anything about that. They're washing up and show. I saw it this weekend. 3 of them came up. You wouldn't see it once a year. Now they're coming up on a weekly basis. The windmills are driving them crazy. They're driving the whales, I think, a little batty.
So this is, of course, incoherent babbling about windmills killing whales? Now, to be fair to him, there is a really, really dumb right-wing talking point on this, where they're trying to claim windmills do actually kill whales because whales communicate with noise and the windmills make a noise that the whales don't like. But all this stuff is totally unproven, and we all know the core of why they're saying it. It's to make the argument, don't do renewable energy. Do not do renewable energy. Stick with fossil fuels. That's why they're doing it. And Trump, by the way, has a history on this. He hates windmills. Remember when he claimed they cause cancer? Because one of his golf courses, I believe it's in Scotland, they put up windmills, and you could see it from his course, and he thought it was an eyesore, so he sued over it and went to war over the windmills. So he's always had a hatred for windmills, but here he is saying windmills are killing whales. Okay, I got more for you.
Report, I wish, covered the oranges, how it started. In the failing New York Times by an anonymous, gutless.
Apparently he can't say the word anonymous.
They sacrifice every day for the furniture and future of their children. Jim Apple. Mike Pounds. I know words. I have the best words. Yosemites, Nambia.
He says Yosemites instead of Yosemite. Okay, that's funny.
Island. You have voter ID to buy a loaf of bread? The Democrats, ooh, there was a mosquito. I don't want mosquitoes around me. I'm a very stable genius. The disinfectant.
Looking at the solar eclipse. Oh my God, I remember that one.
Stable genius. The disinfectant, where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection? I tested positively toward negative, right?
Yes, I
People are flushing toilets 10 times, 15 times, as opposed to once. Sinks, right? Showers. And what goes with a sink and a shower? 10 times, right? 10 times. Well, not me, of course, not me. You want to wash your hands, you turn on the sink, the water comes out. No, get those lights off! Off! You have a shower. It's no good for me. Remember the dishwasher, you'd press it, boom, there'd be like an explosion. One of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water. And the worst president in the history of our country, who is cognitively impaired, in no condition to lead, and is now in charge of dealing with Russia and possible nuclear war. Just think of it. We would be in World War II very quickly. God bless the United States.
There was another thing recently where he seemed to think he was running against Obama. Now, look, the fact of the matter is, he's more like lively than Biden, right? Like, Biden comes across as like the old man personified. And Trump is definitely more charismatic, more lively. And I think that tends to paper over some of the obvious mental deficiencies there, right? But when you see it strung back to back to back like this, it's like, I don't know, man. This is a geriatric-ass country, and if the only, final two options between the Democrat and Republican are Trump and Biden, oh my God, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. But again, notice, the media across the board will run with the argument of Joe Biden being cognitively impaired and too old to do the job, and very few of them, credit to Mehdi Hasan for putting together this last compilation here, but very few of them will bring up the obvious issues with Trump. There are quite a few of them. They're pretty damning, and the narrative has not been built in the other direction of like, this guy seems to be struggling a little bit cognitively as well, but I think that's kind of clear. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.